What's up, everybody? Currently, you are watching Dynasty up 2-0 over Believe the Hype, but I think we have a problem with Reliable's TV, so we're going to switch that out. Big thanks to John Curran. So in the meantime, I'm going to sit here and have a little chit-chat with Bravo. So, Bravo, you are a part of an organization called Gamers for Christ, correct?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, since this is the first time I've actually heard about it.
Sure. So as many of you guys know, I'm a Christian, and I've always wanted to kind of get kind of like a Christian group going here, just to like hang out and just to be Christians with each other. And a guy approached me. His name's Bradley, and he's a pastor, and he just kind of got us talking and got an awesome group of people together. It's myself, Squared, Fear, and a bunch of just people we have never met before, some AM players and some fans. And what we do is every event we kind of buy pizza. We usually in these big cities there's homeless people who can't afford food, who are struggling. We go and buy pizza for them. We hang out and we do Bible studies. So if you want to come out and hang out, nothing we would force on you or anything like that. It's just a cool organization to be a part of at an MLG event. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Wow, that is really, really good deed, man.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, sir. So,
Thank you, man.
So every event you really go around and you just try to help people out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's also a lot of kids here who are, who barely can get here. They just get a train here. They drive here with all their friends. So it's like just simply buying pizza for anyone who needs it. And honestly, sometimes especially at an awesome resort like this, it's tough to buy a meal for anywhere under $20. And as good as the food is, it's pretty hard on the wallet. So stuff like that, really helping people out and kind of just sharing the love.
Well, pizza is delicious.
Yes,
everyone knows that. No one dislikes pizza, and if you do, well, you probably are an American.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Without
a simple fact. And so it looks like Reliable's TV is up and ready, and we are going to be going into Team King on Nexus. It is time to see if Believe the Hype can handle the pressure that Dynasty is bringing. All right, so we're a little bit off cue here, but it doesn't matter. You're seeing the countdown, and I am not sure who we're jumping on board with, but we will find out in a second when that HUD comes out, and it is going to be Cloud. Bravo, if there is a player on Believe the Hype who needs to step it up in order for them to come back, who is it of these four players?
I think it's going to be Cloud. I actually got a chance to coach Cloud back in the 2007 season, and I knew right away. It was actually on a Believe the Hype team, and I just knew right away that this kid was sick. And I think if he steps it up big time, we'll see just an awesome result from them. Do you think they're going to close the Dynasty's going to close out the series here, Scott?
Yeah, man, I've been sitting here watching it, and I just don't see Believe the Hype answering the aggressive call that Dynasty is bringing. Maybe this King of the Hill will help them out. But currently, I mean, they have two members down for their team. They're not in the best position. Cloud just with a hasty push there almost embarrasses Destin, but he was still taken out. So I think they just need to figure out how to control the tempo. Snipedown does have the sniper. He is sitting on blue base. The guys are spawning around him, so it is his time to shine here. But he has yet to really get into a groove. If he gets this kill, maybe he can start heating up. Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right. If Believe the Hype is to kind of turn the series around, it absolutely has to happen like the start of this game. Because first of all, once you get down in a game type like Nexus King, it is very difficult to come back.
Now they do have Mazik behind them, who is a very seasoned coach. Now, I've always wondered this. As a coach, that was a great shot.
Yeah.
Very, very good angle. As a coach, when your team is down 2-0, it affects you emotionally as well. So how do you really bounce yourself back so you can get your team back? I feel like that's a big part of being a coach.
It is tough, and I mean, you have to take the one game at a time mentality. We've done it so many times, and we won back when I was on Final Boss in 2008, and we took a series from Triggers down, who at that point looked unstoppable after being down 2-0. It's really that one game at a time mentality, and as long as everyone has that mentality on the same page, you have a chance. I mean, to be honest, if there's one guy on the team who doesn't think they can do it, then it's probably not going to happen. So this Believe the Hype squad, though, I have no doubt that they know they can come back and win this series.
Yeah, and as we're seeing a little bit of trash talk here from the members of Dynasty, Formal out shooting Snipedown, and he makes sure to let him hear it. And I love how trash talking is really coming back.
It is.
Players are just so sick and tired of being casual and nice at events that they're just screaming at one another. What has sparked this? Is it just the level of competition?
It's got to be. I think this is good for Halo Reach. You know what I also think is good? I think it's good that Instinct has been proven beatable. And, you know, people are trying again. They want to win events, and everyone knows it's possible. Nothing against Infamous, but I think there's a bunch of teams out there who think that they can go ahead and win this tournament. And to be honest, ourselves included, and it's good for Halo.
I mean, I can't, although you guys aren't practicing, you look so well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to be honest, we were hoping to get a land in. And we were hoping also for no bloom, and neither of those two came. So we were able to get some online practice. I mean, you know, we spent some time online, and we are happy with the way we're playing. That's all I'll say.
I mean, yeah, I mean, hey, you're in a pool now. Your big matchup is definitely going to be against Classic.
That's right, yeah.
And you have to close that out. Now, do you guys play tonight, or do you play Carbon tonight?
We do play Fnatic Classic tonight on the main stage right after this.
Oh, my goodness.
It could be an awesome night. What do you think?
Really could. They really could be awesome.
Yeah, it is shaping up to be cool.
And, you know, very standard King of the Hill game type here, going back and forth within a couple seconds. Both teams here. How do you pull away in this game type? I've never seen anyone pull away from the hill being top rank.
Okay, yeah. What you really want? Oh, you mean from the top mid hill?
Yes.
Oh, it's tough, yeah. Because like we said about those split spawns, top mid hill is kind of a liken to make a Halo 2 reference here. Lockout's top middle hill. If you think it's kind of the hill that you just want to keep them off of, you milk as much time as possible while you're in it. However, you're really waiting for those side hills to go up on your time. So it's kind of like a neutral hill. You don't want them to go up on it, so you just kind of maintain map control. And I think that's how a smart team would really approach it. I mean, if you don't want to put all your marbles in one basket when it comes into this middle hill. You kind of want to just wait for that hill to move and keep them off it. And now, when you see on the side hill, what they're going to be looking for is to watch the angles. If you get a sniper and a nade launcher to watch two different lanes, and then everyone else, other guys, hill guy and a support guy, can really just focus fire wherever the other enemies are coming from. You saw Instinct actually go up on us probably about maybe 60, 70 seconds straight. So that's really what teams are looking to do. These side hills, for some reason, that was disgusting. These side hills kind of play like a top BR, bottom BR kind of lockout thing with top middle, you know? So it's just kind of like a twisted lockout.
Yeah, so it's definitely awareness that is going to prevail here. And we're seeing this is just going back and forth, so we might as well just have a chit-chat that's completely irrelevant to this game. We'll get back into this later. So, Bravo, going against Classic. I mean, that's going to be the next matchup, and I'm sure someone's on your team's going to get the interview. But what do you plan on stopping them? Do you just plan on playing your own game here? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the way we were playing, I think what Cam had started to say is our aggression is absolutely up. You know, we are not waiting to push, and you saw that Sanctuary flag game. We are being very quick to, you have to have literally your finger on a trigger. I don't just mean shooting, I mean you have to be ready to go at any time, especially with his ability to move around the map like sprint. You just have to be willing to push. Like if there's a guy who's the last guy alive and the teammate says push, you have to go. You don't hesitate, you don't question it. You trust your teammates, and I think we're working really good on that, and we're shooting together for the most part. And I think if we just play our game, we're not even going to really think about what kind of strategies they use. That's good. And this game, you know, everyone always wonders, like, oh, there's so much more strategy that the pros know, but it really comes down to teamwork. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it comes down to the fundamentals of each map and then teamwork. So, I mean, however, there are, as you saw that angle at Snipe Down used, you know, there are ledges, there are angles, and especially with Oasis, a brand new map, there are certainly angles on a map that probably some amateur semi-pro players aren't really used to, because pro teams are really getting a lot of angles on them. But to be honest, our under practice, the fact that we're under practice kind of you know, hurt us on that Oasis game type. Yeah. Because we just, you know, we weren't taking full advantage of the angles that Instinct was. So I think it's a lot about positioning and teamwork, like you said. So, okay. Now, it's not like this event was just spraying upon you guys. It wasn't like, oh, by the way, Orlando's next week. So why weren't you guys practiced? Well, I mean, just say that we aren't practiced. We just didn't practice as much as some other teams. Of course, everyone knows that. So when you think of practice, you think of Infamous and Instinct. Talk on the phone between events. Yeah, exactly. You think of those two teams. And we had a LAN planned, so I don't want to say we were all waiting for that to happen, but we were all kind of waiting for that to happen. And that day didn't come, and we didn't panic. And as a result, we put a lot more time online to practice, and it came late. But we're just happy that everything's clicking. Yeah, and I mean, you guys should be, because you guys look very solid. And we are at 8 minutes and 10 seconds into this game, and it is still neck and neck. As soon as Believe the Hype gets control, they do a good job at coming back, but they just are really having a hard time containing Dynasty. They just can't handle this pressure. I can't say that enough. Yeah, what I think is really good for this game type, and kind of both teams have been showing it to us, is that this game type could be very balanced. I think
a lot of pros are thinking, oh, the spawn system is really going to ruin it, and that it's very difficult to break setups, and once again, almost reminiscent of Lockout. But I think with the score we have here, unless Dynasty pulls away here, it definitely might be showing us that it's a much more balanced game set than we thought.
Absolutely. So Heinz is just going to sit in here, milk the hill. Now, where did you say you would be basically vulnerable or invulnerable to nades?
Okay, so for that top green hill,
yes.
The top waterfall, whatever you like to call it, there's a spot behind that tree that is really difficult to nade. I don't know if you're on top of the base, it's hard to throw because you're there's a ceiling in your way, there's a roof in your way, and also when you're spawning side of the bases, there's a weird angle that it bounces off of. So we noticed that no matter how many nades we threw, and we actually even tested it after and on a side station, that there's just really difficult to nades. That we also noticed that Instinct was definitely switching players in and out of the hill, and I think on a hill like that top hill, a great way to control it that I didn't bring up earlier is to have a guy who can just simply back down and offer cover fire for tunnel or something, and then a new guy with a fresh shield comes into the hill. So I think that would absolutely be a strategy that's going to be employed more. Whereas on these side hills, you can kind of have one guy in the hill watching everything, watching snipe side. But on that top hill, to have two guys switching in and out is just a really great strategy.
Yeah, so you definitely want to have that other guy kind of hanging out on the ramp, maybe watching the base. So that's definitely going to come down to a lot of communication. And that's where you're going to come in, because necessarily players are going to say, oh, well, I'm watching red base, and the other guys are going to be like, oh, well, I'm watching blue base. Some teams aren't going to do that, especially in the heat of in the moment. So that's where the coach comes in. So when do you realize to say that? Because you don't want to flood the mic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's one big thing with this team. This is the first team that I had in a while that really almost has all of their communication down 100%. So a lot of the times that I do start to open my mouth, to be honest, it's about to flood the mic, and I stop myself. But the big thing that you want to do is really tell people when to back down, when they have help, because that's one thing still tons of pro players don't do. For example, if there's two guys sitting snipe side and they're with each other but they haven't said anything, that first guy might challenge to the death, whereas if he just back down, we can get a man advantage. So the big time that I'd really step up and kind of tell my team to listen to one another is when they're with each other. And I still stress, I tell the guys to just make sure saying I'm with you it could be the biggest piece of communication, across Halo 2, 3, and Reach. It's just knowing that you have help is going to entirely change the way you play. So as a coach, really that's what a lot of coaches need to be focusing on. As you saw right there, just right there, probably didn't have to die Maniac, probably could have waited for help. So I think that is the biggest thing, and it also leads to more teamwork because you're going to be shooting together.
Indubitably. So Maniac's going to be working with his teammate here, trying to get an angle on this flat or on the hill. It is going to be moving in 5 seconds. They are setting up for this next hill. Dynasty really just doing, an excellent job. I know I am a fanboy of Dynasty, but they are just still doing so well. No matter how hard Believe the Hype tries, they still can't get that lead. But this may be their help. Maniac will be blocking the spawns on that side, and now he's going to be pushing and forcing him to go up, and he's going to get hit by the grenade launcher because Formal is incredible.
Yeah, and you see he's checked that closet spawn, he blocked the closet spawn, and then he went to check tunnel. And in a situation like that, it's probably better if he just kind of sits back in the garden area in the grass and just waits and watches two different angles rather than charge in. I think he thought Formal was weak, which is why he pushed on that. Unfortunately, it looked like those nades kind of missed Formal, but which is why he pushed that. But now it looks like, as you saw that hill transition right when you said at the 5-minute mark, Believe the Hype was, for the first time in the game that I've seen, really set up on this blue base and they're ready to hold it down. So it looks like if they can just hold this down, but as you see, the Dynasty members kind of using the Sanctuary strategy of screw everything else, I'm going to sprint past the enemy team and get behind them, and that's just a strategy we see time and time again in Halo Reach. It looks like teams can just sprint around, so, I mean, it comes to a point, is there a counter to that, or do you just have to wait for those enemies to pop out? And it puts you in the terrible, difficult situation that you have to deal with people behind you and in front of you, and you can't put shots on either, to be honest. So that's a huge strategy to be used, and I like it because it picks up the pace of Halo, and I think Halo is supposed to be a fast game. I love Halo 1. I think Halo should be that fast.
Halo is definitely going to be fast, and if we ever incorporate No Bloom, which we most likely will, almost 100%, we will see as the fast-pacedness of this game is really going to be increased. People die a lot faster, to say the least.
And now, as our rambling has continued, it is now a tied game.
Yeah, and the hill will be moving up to the top green, and this will be the second to last hill as Heinz looks to be grabbing this grenade launcher, not doing enough damage. He's going to be taken out. We have a 3-on-3 situation. Formal has the sniper. This is really his time to shine here, and he ripped Reliable's face off, and he is looking for the next one, and he's going to hide because he's terrified. So Dynasty now is going to be pushing here. Great job here. Believe the Hype not being able to milk any time, and Dynasty really just pulling away from this top hill, all because they have no positioning on this map.
Yeah, what I think, kind of what we said earlier, when you saw that Heinz going for the nade launcher, I think, you know, had either team sent 2 guys there, it would have been, without a doubt, a one-sided battle. So I think still team, I mean, it's very difficult to be in the heat of a battle and then switch over to have 2 people run to a power weapon. I mean, it's still something that's very difficult to do. I think Instinct is the best personally. But we still have a lot of, I think it's cool. There's a lot of development. Like, Halo Reach can still grow so much that we can still see so much teamwork. I think it's great for the game.
I mean, when you look back at all of the Halos, the first year compared to the third year is night and day differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun to watch, for example, Halo 2 VODs on Foundation Slayer, you know, stuff like that.
We were on turrets.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's just, I know Zanzibar CTF 1 flag was a game type, so
yeah,
it's definitely going to be really exciting to see how this game evolves. It's something I love talking about, something I love kind of like figuring out and studying on my own is how the game changes and stuff. So I think the way we're seeing Halo Reach kind of move is a very good direction for both MLG and Halo as a competitive game.
Absolutely. So Dynasty really pulling ahead right now. Believe the Hype has to put their jet boots on here if they have any chance of coming back here. This is going to, the hill will be moving in 20 seconds. That'll be the final hill of this game number 3. And keep in mind, if they don't win this game, then it is over. Dynasty will 3-0 beat.
Yep, and we also got we got new power weapons dropping, so we'll see how all of that goes. I mean, it's kind of been the story of the game and almost a series that if Believe the Hype starts to, you know, get a little ahead or even tie the game, that Dynasty kind of turns it on. And I want to almost say that's because Dynasty is not playing 100%. They're playing really well, but when they want to get the lead back, they go ahead and get it back. And that's certainly possible. I mean, you think about the final boss of old or the 2009 Trigger Down that I was a part of. When we were losing a game, we just turned it on and we were like, what the hell are we doing, guys? Let's pick it up right now. So I think that might be something we're seeing out of this Dynasty squad. And if they pull away with this series and their group, I think they will definitely be a threat for this whole tournament.
Well, they are on the comeback here. We are approaching the final 30 seconds. Formo is forced to drop into the river, and Reliable is milking a lot of hill time there.
It's going to be a nail biter.
Tizox is going to be caught going through the tunnel, and Believe the Hype is looking like they will take the lead in the last seconds here. Snipedown has the sniper. Cloud is right next to Reliable, holding his hand, and Maniac is pushing top green. Oh my goodness, and they are going to take it.
They are, man, it's just perfect. You know, and it's that really comes down to the timing that Dynasty had there when they died. You know, they needed to stay alive well before that last respawn, and that game is going to go to BTH. Quite a series we have here.
Yeah, so King of the Hill really going back and forth. It's definitely a very standard characteristic of this game type.
Yeah.
But taking a look at the stats here, as soon as they pop up, I see Snipedown.
+11, yeah.
Snipedown finally shining here. I said it before, it is going to be a battle between Formal and Snipedown. Snipedown had 2 more kills, so they win by 10 seconds. Yeah. Formal 2 less kills, so they lose. It's kind of making sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Snipedown here almost going most least in the entire game, except for Cloud's deaths. He would have had the best numbers in all 3 categories, so there's no doubt he turned it up at the end.
So the next game type will be CTF on Sanctuary, and we will have that coming up next.